we're going to talk about the danger of sending in military, because the reality of the matter is, while all of these protests are ongoing, Jake Tapper reposted, I don't care if you're raising Kenosha, storming the Capitol, or doing whatever this is in LA. No democracy can function when every group and identity bloc decides it has the right and moral authority to take its specific political disagreements into the streets. Yeah. Waving a Mexican flag or marching in the streets is not the same thing as burning vehicles and throwing bricks. People keep conflating them as if they're all obviously bad optics. Yeah, I am even less liberal than Will Stansel on the matter, because I think that while, yes, burning fucking cars is a distraction, okay, and ultimately dangerous for the protesters that are around, you will never catch me focusing on that at any point, because I understand that this is a fucking decentralized movement of angry people that have gotten together to stop an intense amount of violence. Nothing that these protesters can do will ever meet the standard of violence that the state maintains with regular frequency and force. Okay? Guys, stop talking about JPEG Mafia and bringing up JPEG Mafia in this fucking chat, okay? Like, ironically enough, he's over here talking about how fucking silly it is that people make their protest about defending me or some shit, which there is some truth to. Like, don't fucking make me going to the protests or whatever the primary position of importance here. What he's doing is even dumber. He's not out in the fucking protests. He's just chirping from home. Stop fucking arguing with him, okay? What are you doing? Anyway, I want to reiterate this point over and over again. No matter what, the protesters and the 1% of the protesters that like burn cars or whatever, or even fucking some of the people that are opportunists who like go in, there's people that went into the Apple store, which is ironic because like it's the dumbest store to loot, because automatically every single thing that you took is decommissioned. You're never going to be able to use them. But like, no matter what these people do, okay, it will never even come close to the standard of serialized, systematized, legalized violence that the state enforces every fucking day, including, but not limited to, the additional violence that even goes beyond the previously established standard of violence that people perceive as normal. Like things such as poverty, okay? The structural violence of poverty, things like that are ever present, ongoing. Beating the shit out of homeless people, okay? Instead of taking care of them. These types of things are inherently violent, and it's the type of violence that we don't even see. In order for the protesters to ever reach the same standard of violence of the state, they would have to be the state. They would have to literally have a militarized force conducting not even like guerrilla warfare, but like a militarized force with drones, with long-range acoustic devices, with full-blown riot gear, with lethal weapons and less lethal weapons that they use on the fucking cops. Like, think about that. That's like, it's the standards are so fucking distorted. The asymmetry is so crazy. So I always find it strange when it's actually other citizens, other civilians, other people that are not in the police force, other people that are not in the fucking military, or other people that are not in government that turn around and say, no, I can't believe they fucking burned a car down. It's like, yeah, that's fucked up. Okay. It's fucked up. It's fucked up. But you are insane if you think that that is fucked up, but the other shit that's happening that the state is doing is not a million times more fucked up. Like, focus on the real harm here, please. Okay. And guess what? There were a lot of fucking clashes, right? Born out of the police's incredibly violent reaction to people protesting that took place yesterday. But as opposed to the first day, the property damage was far more limited. And the reason for why the property damage was far more limited is because cops were not escalating to the same degree as they did the first day. Okay? That's it. Because the standard of violence is always dictated by the party that holds all of the power. The state dictates exactly what kind of violence will happen in retaliation to the level of violence that they are presenting towards people who are protesting. But I hope you guys understand this, okay? What I'm saying, what I'm stating here is not fucking crazy. What I'm stating here is the opinions that I've developed after both doing a decent amount of reading on this matter, looking at historically important events that are comparable to the ongoing civil struggles that exist in modern society, and also my own personal experience that I'm trying to share with you from going to these goddamn protests. Do you understand? And I know for a fact that if you were to attend one of these things, you would recognize, one, very quickly you would recognize that you are surrounded by like-minded individuals, and it is an incredible feeling. It is an incredible feeling to experience that solidarity. Like-minded individuals who care for one another, who are there to share resources with one another, to engage in acts of mutual aid, and that the real fear and the real violence that you meet is not by your fellow protesters, but instead is by the fucking cops. You are safe in the crowd, and with the amount of with the tremendous numbers that you have, you recognize that, like, when you do a show of force, a demonstration, the only thing we have as citizens is the number of people that we have on our side. Okay? We have the numbers. They do not. And the state realizes that. Okay? Which is why they implement tremendous use of force. We have the numbers. They do not. They have the weapons. They have the power. And the power that they have is because we have the numbers. This is why I try to urge people to participate in these protests, participate in these demonstrations. Okay? At some point, you have to pick whether you will defend immigrant communities as they actually exist, or will only defend them if they shape up and start acting American enough. And frankly, the rhetoric about the protests is telling me that too many liberals are picking option 2. If liberalism can't defend the lived reality of pluralism, only some idealized version where everyone acts in the exact way we assume would most appeal to middle America, we've already lost. And frankly, even if they did act like that, the far right would still demonize these people because their hate is mostly rooted in hallucinations and demagogic lies. Exactly. Will Stancil is popping off. He's right. Can't believe I'm saying this. Anyone that does not actually offer support by recognizing the real vector of harm here, which is the state's ridiculous enforcement of violence upon communities that do not deserve it at all, okay?